If you've watched the news lately, in the last few days, especially over the weekend and on Monday, today, what some of us have predicted on here over a year ago is now essentially in its advanced stage, and that is the financial meltdown. So let me read you an article written by Barry Gray. I found it on Information Clearinghouse, and I'll try to post a link to it as soon as I upload the video, because I'll have to find the link again. But basically, I'll read you a few excerpts like I like to do. The U.S. government takeover of the mortgage finance giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac has dealt a shattering blow to the ideology of free market capitalism, which has been used for decades to justify a relentless assault on the working and middle class and a vast transfer of wealth to the American ruling elite. Now, this is not just the American ruling elite, there are other elites concerned. The endless invocations of the virtues of private enterprise, individual entrepreneurship, and self-reliance used to demonize socialism of any kind in any society and defend a system that exploits the vast majority for the benefit of this financial elite have been exposed as frauds. When it comes to big capital, losses are socialized. Only profits remain private. The same forces who year after year have inveighed against big government in order to justify the removal of all legal impediments to the accumulation of corporate profits and private fortunes and carry out the destruction of social safeguards, have engineered a massive expansion of government power to safeguard the interests of this global financial elite. The bailout has as well exposed the real relations of political power and influence behind the facade of American democracy. The largest government bailout of private companies in world history, whose ultimate cost to taxpayers is likely to reach hundreds of billions, was sanctioned in advance by the Democratic Congress and given instant approval by the leadership of both parties and of both their presidential candidates. There has been no investigation into the greatest financial scandal in world history. Neither party has any interest in bringing to light the swindling and skullduggery of Wall Street moguls, because they're both bound hand and foot to those responsible for this financial debacle. What has been revealed is the existence in the United States behind the increasingly tattered veneer of democratic institutions of a plutocracy, the political rule of the rich. When it comes to basic interests of the financial aristocracy, both parties and all of the official institutions of society snap to attention and do the bidding for the Wall Street masters. The bailout of the two mortgage giants, which account for 80% of new home mortgages in the U.S., is a demonstration of the historic failure of unregulated capitalism on a global scale. It was precipitated by the deepest economic crisis since the Depression of the 1930s, whose epicenter is the United States. The Bush administration moved to take over Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac under conditions of a rapid erosion of international confidence in the solvency not only of those two companies, but of the United States government itself. The U.S., by far the world's largest debtor nation, with a current account deficit of nearly $800 billion, is sustained by the inflow of hundreds of billions of dollars from abroad. It currently imports $1 trillion per year, or over $4 billion every single day. But the assumption by the U.S. government of the depths of the two mortgage companies while averting an immediate financial meltdown only compounds the crisis. As Martin Wolf, the financial correspondent of the Financial Times, wrote last Tuesday, as a result, U.S. housing finance has been brought under direct government control, and in the process, the gross liabilities of the entire U.S. government have increased by $5,400 billion, a sum equal to the entire publicly held debt, or 40% of our gross domestic product. So the article is a bit long. I can't read you all the paragraphs here. Moreover, the bailout of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac is only the prelude, and as we've seen this today, the prelude to a far broader use of public funds to bolster the balance sheets of major corporations. The plunge of Wall Street investment bank Lehman Brothers towards bankruptcy, and it actually declared bankruptcy today, it was which, as it was predicted, poses another rescue operation similar to the $29 billion bailout of Bear and Stearns in last March. It is already widely broached that the government establish a permanent mechanism for using taxpayer funds to buy billions of dollars in failing assets from major banks and financial companies. The Financial Times declared the U.S. government might end up having to support the recapitalization of a much wider range of financial institutions in order to curb the credit crunch. So the insurance industry is next, by the way. The operations of the two government-sponsored firms are entirely in line with the unbridled speculation based on an immense expansion of debt that has become the hallmark. Their role in the housing and credit boom has now come crashing down, was of a piece with the creation of a vast edifice of paper values engineered to the so-called securitization of debt, which sustained the super profits and immense salaries raked by Wall Street. As I say, the insurance industry, insuring those institutions, is next. I don't want to make this video too long. I will, as I say, I will post a link to this article. It might also surprise you where it's actually coming from and originated. I'll post a link as soon as I upload the video. Thanks for listening. The news is not good.